Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Y'all, today, I'm gonna take this big old brisket that I found on sale and mix it with some bacon, grind it all up, and we're gonna make some smoked brisket bacon burgers. Let's get to cooking. So the first thing we gotta do is get this 16-pound brisket cut up where I can run it through the grinder. Now, I'm not taking the time and trimming off anything on it because all this extra fat and stuff, it's gonna grind up great and it's gonna give us that mixture we want. We need some fat. This isn't all lean. And that's what I like using the brisket for, because we got the fatty end from the point, we got the lean end from the flat. When it's all ground together and combined, it makes a fantastic burger. So all I'm gonna do is cut it into kind of strips first, about 1.5 inches thick. Then you need to take these strips. You can do a 2-inch piece here. We've just got these large, basically chunks. Some fat, a lot of lean from the flat, little fat on bottom. That's perfect for a grind. Now, one thing you want to make sure is keep this meat as cold as possible. So what I like to do is throw that brisket in the freezer for about 20-30 minutes. We're not trying to get it froze, but we want the core temperature to be really cold. That makes it grind better, and the fat doesn't start to melt as it's picking up heat from the grinder, which it does produce a little bit of friction heat. If I'd have paid full price for this brisket, I probably wouldn't have ground it. It'd be an expensive burger. It would be good, but it would be expensive. But when you can catch them on sale down around $2.99 a pound, that's the perfect price for turning brisket into ground beef. Now, this is a great way. You can see how we're into that point now. We've got our flat that ran in. We got the point sitting on top of it. We got that fat separating it. All of this is good meat for ground brisket. Now, you can see these slices back in that point end, especially where it's overlapping that flat, are pretty thick. So what I'd like to do on these is just go ahead and split them right down that fat seam. That way it kind of still keeps us in the size we want. That's gonna be good for the grinder. Now, depending on what kind of grinder you got, yours might take bigger pieces than mine, but I've just found from making my own burger, my own sausage at home, the little 1-inch by 2-inch pieces are about perfect. I mean, and that 16 pounds looks like a mountain of meat on the cutting board. And the great thing is, we're not getting any waste. Now, this is the part, if I was making sausage, I would go ahead and season this meat up, let it sit a little while, and then grind it so all that seasoning gets incorporated. But for brisket burger, I like to season it as I'm cooking it, so we're really not putting any flavors in it. But I guess you could if you wanted to. Now, to put my brisket burgers over the top, I like to buy bacon ends and pieces. Now, this ain't frying bacon, it's not real pretty, it's the drops off of it when they're processing it. But what I found is you can grind this up. As I'm feeding that brisket through, we'll drop some pieces of these bacon ends and pieces in there, and it's gonna combine it together as it grinds. So we're gonna add that bacony goodness flavor to that ground brisket. Now, you don't have to worry about like 20% bacon fat because we've got so much fat in the brisket already. It's gonna be the perfect mix. And as that brisket burger cooks, you're gonna get that fat flavor of the bacon, the seasoning, the smokiness of the bacon mixed with that brisket. Oh, it's good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my knife and cut through here and just kind of get it to where it'll fit through the grinder, it won't get bound up. And I'll just take this meat and put it up in my top tray to where as I'm feeding the brisket, I can pull some of that bacon over and run it with it. All right, y'all, we're ready to grind. Let's cut this bad boy on. So I'm gonna start by putting a couple pieces of brisket in here, getting it kind of primed up. When I start seeing something come out, we'll start dropping a little bit of bacon with it too. You just want to kind of alternate some bacon and some brisket. It's gonna get a good mix. But look at this coming out, y'all. That is beautiful. All I'm doing is feeding some bacon, feeding some brisket. And this grinder is mowing through it, man. That looks good. Now, y'all, this is about half that brisket ground up. But check that out. I'm just kind of mixing it around a little bit, making sure all that bacon kind of gets incorporated with it. All right, we're done grinding. Now I'm gonna stick this ground brisket in the refrigerator because I want to keep it nice and cold. I don't want that fat getting too warm, starting to melt. So I'm making half-pound brisket burgers today. And I've got my little scale here. I'm gonna weigh them out. I need about 8 ounces. So we're just gonna kind of ball them up, set them to the side. We're not pattying them yet. Go ahead and get some more weight out. You might think that's a big burger, but we're gonna render that bacon down, that brisket fat. It's gonna be juicy, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be delicious. And I've got a little burger press. You can hand form them if you want to, but I found this little burger press from Amazon Works. We're gonna set one of these on here and I'll put a split Ziploc bag on it. This makes cleanup easier and my burger don't stick to my masher. We're gonna close it down, press on it just a little bit, get it nice and secure, bring it up. We got a burger patty, y'all. That easy. Now you can season these burgers however you like. I'm just going with some of my steak rub today. Salt, pepper, garlic would work. Anything that you'd like to put on a burger, go for it. I'm gonna put a good coat of steak rub on the outside. because you know it's brisket, it can take some seasoning. You don't need a lot of salt, because remember we added that bacon, and the bacon has a pretty high salt content. Just kind of pat those in. If they flatten out a little bit, that's okay. Now we're gonna smoke these burgers today, y'all. I fired up my Outlaw pit using a bed of royal oak briquettes with a couple tumbleweeds to get that fire going. Threw a chunk of post oak on there, brought that pit up to 275. It's ready to roll, so we're gonna put these burgers right on the grate. I'm gonna put just a touch of an indentation, not much. I will flip them, so you're not gonna see that. It's probably gonna swell shut, but it just keeps them from turning into meatballs, y'all. All we gotta do, y'all, let that smoker eat. So after 30 minutes, let's take a peek at these burgers. This is when I like to flip them. Oh man, yeah, they looking like burgers now, y'all. Juice is coming up in them. We're gonna flip all of them. Just let them keep doing their thing, straighten them up a little bit. But look, we're gonna close this lid again, and it's probably gonna take another 15 minutes, but I'll be checking them in that time because I don't wanna overcook them. I like my burgers about 145. That's where I wanna take them to. That's where I personally like to eat them. If you want them a little rarer than that, go for it. You ground this meat, it can take it. So 45 minutes, this is where you want to look at the temp on these burgers. They might have went just a hair over 145, but that's all right. We finna take them off. Smoked brisket bacon burger. They look dang good for just cooking on the Outlaw. I mean, you could eat that as a steak right there. So let's build the burger, y'all. Toasted bun. I threw together some of my Big Malk sauce. Animal style ain't got nothing on me. We're gonna put some of that sauce on that bottom bun. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little bit on the top bun too. Then we're gonna come with some pickles. I like these little thin restaurant pickles. A little red onion, some lettuce, and a slice of tomato. Now we're ready for the meat. We're gonna grab one of these burgers right on top. Double cheese. We got cheddar and Swiss. Since we're doing bacon, I said, hey, why not? Let's add some more. Top bun. Now if that ain't a fine looking burger, I don't know what is. Normally, I wouldn't squish a burger, but I think I'm gonna have to give it just a little bit, y'all. But man, that is a man-sized brisket bacon burger, smoked on the Outlaw, meat juice running already. Let's get that bite. That's so freaking good. Juice is dripping. I mean, look at it. Cooked to perfection. That, my friends, is a HowToBBQRight style burger. Well, y'all know the usual wrap up. You can find me on all the social channels. Subscribe if you like burgers. Shell and I are gonna be talking about this a lot on our podcast. I'm finna eat the rest of it. We'll see y'all next time. I love a good burger. This one of them you gotta lean into.